Bedtime story. The baby's crying had just turned to sobbing.
He was shouting "Mommy" in a plaintive, pathetic voice. He'd been doing it for half an hour.
My wife was in tears too.
We were behind the closed door of our room.
I was looking into her face, reminding her.
We can't go. Remember the doctor's advice. We've been doing it all wrong. For the first year of his life, we went to him as soon as he made the slightest sound. My wife had anticipatory hearing. She could hear sounds before they happened. He's about to cry, she would say, and jump off the bed and into the darkness. At first, we made the excuse that he didn't have his own room and that we were concerned about the neighbors. Our building suffered from vertical noise, the cause of serious disagreements among the tenants. But the facts were that no one had ever said the slightest thing to us about the crying. We were the ones it bothered, because we could not bear to think that there was something he needed that we weren't giving him. Mommy! By looking at her, I could see that one more mommy would break the dam. He's got to learn how to fall asleep on his own, I said, trying to sound reasonable. The doctor said, "Did you ask the doctor about his own baby?" Well, he does the same thing we've been doing. He doesn't apply his own theories when it's his baby crying. Mommy, Mommy! He was reaching a new level of desperation, and so was she. In my mind, I saw him imprisoned in his crib. Holding on to the bars, falsely accused. This was his one call for justice, and we refused to answer it. His own parents. Mommy! She looked at me pleadingly. But much as I would have liked to trash the experiment, I held my ground. We can't go. And then he just stopped. The same look of fear came over both of our faces. The same thought entered both of our heads. Had he stopped breathing entirely? Had he collapsed in despair? We paused and listened. We wanted to hear something, anything whimpering, rustling, anything that would tell us he'd given up the fight but would live to take it up another day. We were like the citizens in a Western, begging for some sign as the gun smoke cleared that our hero still stood. And then it happened. Daddy! Daddy! Hearing it gave him a peculiar feeling. Pleasant and painful at once. And then I heard myself say, I've got to go. I've never been called before. So I walked to his room in a trance-like state. He was my son and he needed me. Sure, it had taken him a while to realize it. After all, he saw so much more of Mommy. Mommy fed him and clothed him and bathed him. Mommy picked him up when he fell, and Mommy was there most of the time. But now he needed Daddy. And Daddy was not going to let him down. What was one night in a lifetime of nights? He could learn how to fall asleep on his own tomorrow. The room was dimly lit. He was standing exactly as I knew he would be, with his hands on the bars.
He was worn and tear-stained and toughened by the ordeal.
I walked towards him to make amends. I leaned down as his father to lift him out of his despair. He said 2 words, "Get Mommy."